Now, based on everything you've seen over the past couple of weeks, you probably think that the market right now is not in the most ideal position. Obviously, we talked about the Stockholm incident, we talked about everything else going down in price significantly. Well, if we actually want to look at our market cap, we're less than 1% away from our all-time high. At 5.5 billion, things are going strong, and it doesn't seem like they're in any position that they're going to be seeing a major pullback, at least right now. Overall, our case market's down slightly, everything seems like it's down slightly, but our high-tier items are still on a very successful past 30 days, some of which are up 10, 20, even 30% depending on the specific item, which is insane and definitely something that I didn't expect to see after everything that went down over the past month, but still things are in a very ideal position. Now, don't get me wrong in that statement, some things are still down a bit, but if we want to look at a 1 month for something like an agent right here, obviously we're down potentially 33% from that high we saw around a week ago, but if we want to look at over the past month, we're up over 100%, and I think that's a really good testament to what's going on inside the market here. Although we may be down slightly, if we want to look at a week outlook, we'll look at even a month, which isn't that long, we're still in a very strong position, which is a very strong outlook for what the future shows. Skinland is today's sponsor, and if you're looking to sell your CS2 skins, they are the #1 spot. Now with Valve's latest update, you have to wait 7 days to go ahead and get your money, but with Skinland, you're going to be able to get the best rate possible with a $10 free bonus on your first trade. Now don't forget to use code MasterShiny for that bonus, and the best part about this is they are one of the first to bring this back, and they are the most safe option to sell your CS2 skins for cash. They've also got a massive marketplace if you're looking to pick up some CS2 skins as well, significantly cheaper than the Steam market. I sell on Skinland for the best rate, so don't wait. Now, one big area for me personally right now is going to be the rare case market. Now, we talked about a lot with the gallery case, we'll talk about that in a quick second, but I more so want to focus in on everything we're seeing in the overall situation with the fracture case and other applicable cases at this level. Obviously, the fracture case has dropped back down to be the cheapest rare case out there, which it subsequently should be. This thing is not in a position that I would really expect it to be at $1 or anywhere close to that at this point. It's got a long way to go. With that being said, the snakebite is offering up some pretty absurd value in my personal opinion, being that it's only 10% more and significantly more developed. They're not equivalent cases, one has glove, one has knife, but there is a very strong outlook of the rare cases and specifically the cheaper rare cases for me moving forward. Now, talking about our rare case market overall, things could not be really going better if you're looking for a buying opportunity. A lot of these are down to price points I did not think we were going to be seeing for a fair amount of time. Looking at our clutch case right now, it's approaching $1.10 with a very strong buy order. That's almost a 33% drop from the prices we were seeing just around a month and a half ago. Now, I honestly don't think that these prices are going to be dropping any further, but I honestly didn't think they were going to be getting down to this price in general to believe. So obviously, it's a very important decision that you have to make. I definitely think that there is a lot of opportunity when we're talking about the rare case market, especially when we're coming up on the biggest 6 months of the year for the rare case market. There's some that definitely people always come back to, and especially in the current situation where we don't know what's going on with the Seal Genesis terminal, I think cases have honestly gotten a lot better and the prices have dropped even lower. A really good indicator of everything going on here is the fact that it's only the cheaper rare cases that have really dropped down in price significantly. If we want to look at some of our older ones, they really have been quite unmoved by the situation, demonstrating that honestly, I think it's a lot of people just liquidating off some of their profit because of everything we saw inside of the market over the past month. Very understandable, and something I highly suggest you do is take some of the profit, but it's definitely a situation here where I think honestly they might be taking profit from the wrong categories. Rare cases are still extremely strong. A lot of these are in very desirable situations in my personal opinion, but definitely make your own decision using the data provided. Now, talking about our armory situation, obviously we got the 3 items slated to get removed. We got our gallery case, we got our character craft, and we got our graphic collection. Now, the gallery case is the most interesting inside the current market just because it is actually the worst ROI of the 3, coming in at only around 150% ROI compared to over 200 for both of the others. Now, this does make sense. The gathering case is going to be the most guaranteed profit, and talking about it, it's the one that everyone is really looking at inside of the current situation. If you want my personal outlook on it, I think the gallery case is a really strong position that might be slightly undervalued right now, but it's going to be very hard to tell because we don't know exactly the situation that it is. I really like the gallery long term, especially if it's going to be discontinued. These things are shown to be one of the best investments you can make, especially when they're super cheap early on. I really like that aspect about it. When it comes to your character craft and your graphic collection, it's a little bit more dicey because obviously we're getting into individual items which have a much lower liquidity level. With that being said, once again, I still really like these as an investment moving forward. If they get discontinued, stickers, collections are really profitable as well. It's a little bit more iffy because it's very detrimental on some areas and it's really positive on others. I would say looking at these 2 collections, I think there is a lot more working towards them than against them, and for that reason, I personally have picked up some of you've seen of my past videos. I do like especially the sticker collection. The application numbers are extremely strong for something like this, and I definitely think it has a very strong potential to be extremely expensive. Graphic collection, once again, is a little bit lower liquidity, especially when we're talking about in the collection realm, but that could work to be a significant advantage. I definitely think there is a decent amount of demand for these skins as well, so it could be very solid. Now, coming on back to our Austin Major here, things are definitely in a position where I'm getting closer and closer to making investment by the day. If we want to look at it, our contenders, our challengers, and our legends are all sitting above 100% ROI. It's absolutely insane, and all of the value is really concentrated in on these hollows for the most part. We're looking at 71% for the contenders, 71% again for the challengers, and 83% for the legends. That one's a little bit sticky. I don't like seeing my number that high, but the first two are really in a good position. And obviously, you know I love this contenders capsule, being that it has 16 different teams inside of it. That's a huge opportunity for a lot of unboxings to get done with this capsule if we get a couple valuable stickers. And they're not as valuable as the other capsules, but Tyloo, Lin Vision, FlyQuest, even OG is now expensive. There's a lot of potential inside of this one specifically, and the other ones are not to be dismissed as well. Falcons is at $24, and we've got Team Liquid at $24 as well. Overall, very strong situation, and I'm excited to see what exactly comes next for the Austin Major with all the data coming out, because I really like what I'm seeing right now, which is actually quite surprising. Now, one area right now I really like that I think it's a little bit, once again, flying undervalued is going to be the filler skins market. Now, the filler skins are in a great position right now because of everything going on. One, they're not really impacted by the really negative aspect that the market had over the past week or so, but if we want to look at it, they're really in a beneficial position because of the graphic collection. Provided it does get removed, people are going to be doing trade-ups, they're going to be doing valuable trade-ups, and these are exactly what we're looking for. Now, unfortunately, it's not the old rarity, so it's not going to be some massive swing happening to the filler skins market, but consistently over time, the filler skins market has shown it benefits quite conditionally because of everything going on right here, and I think that's exactly one of the conditions we're looking at in this position. I like them overall, and I think they're in a solid position, especially long-term. If we're talking about these ones, especially at a light blue level, there's a lot of potential here, and I really like what I'm seeing. Now, because of the situation we're seeing with the sealed Genesis terminal and basically a new active duty case come in, a lot of people have really been looking at the other active duty cases and talking about an investment opportunity there, and honestly, I think that's one of the worst moves you can be doing right now. We're not seeing necessarily super cheap prices for these active duty cases, and if we want to look at them, most of them are not going to be touched for the upcoming period of time. I don't know when the next active duty case is going to be coming in, obviously, but if we want to look at the past year, they have definitely fluctuated so much, and we're talking about an opportunity cost with this area as well. If you want to look at the estimated supply of the fracture case, it's going to be taking a long time for this thing to see some actual massive growth that's outside of hype. And if we want to look at every single one of these active duty cases, they are most likely going to be in a very similar position. The only exception is the Dreams and Nightmares if it was to get removed, but Valve has literally zero incentive to remove it inside of the current market. It is their biggest money maker. Therefore, we're in a position right now where I don't see a ton of opportunity buying into these active duty cases unless they're super cheap, which they're not right now. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.